What's up guys, this is Yacineygo, and today I wanted to make a quick little video on the Despia deck featuring the new support. This is going to be just a very simple deck profile as well as one single combo that came from Road of the King. So shoutouts to Akira. I didn't have to use my brain for this video, which is the reason why it's super short and sweet. Just because honestly, I have no freaking idea how to play this deck. I suck with Despia. I always have, honestly. I played this deck at one YCS Hartford 2022, the very first event after the the return from COVID. And I was completely clueless. This deck is super complicated, but very rewarding if you know what you're doing, which is really nice. You know, those high engine count decks where you don't really have to play hand traps because the engine of the deck is just so inherently powerful that you can push through boards if you just draw like 6 different, branded cards, which is really cool. And obviously when you're going first, if you pilot your deck correctly, you're basically just always winning because this deck does infinite things. And even when you're not trying to FTK your opponent with cheese cards like Ido, the Supreme Magical Force, or in the OCG would be Gimmick Puppet Nightmare, you're still doing really nasty things and also very layered boards, etc. Beautiful deck overall. But yeah, before we go any further, you already know the drill. Smash the like and subscribe button, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so for the deck list, we're playing a lot of starters. A huge amount of them. Actually, I think a little too many. If anything, you might want to consider playing over 40, just so that you can play more non-engine cards and more board breakers potentially. Or at least hand traps like Fua and Droll so that you can turn skip your opponent. But we're playing 3 Aluber, 3 Branded Opening, 2 Fallen of the White Dragon, and 1 Fallen of Albaz. You cannot play 3 Fallen of the White Dragon if you play a Fallen of Albaz because this is always treated as Fallen of Albaz. And you at least want to play 1 real Fallen of Albaz because it's a really good card to special summon off of Incredible Ecclesia on your opponent's turn so that you can quick fuse and then get rid of like 2 opponent's monsters to make the dragon that devours the dogma and then banish a bunch of cards from the graveyard. Very good way to just clear a lot of monsters, but also get rid of your opponent's grave. So yeah, that's the reason why you obviously need 1 real Albaz and then 2 good Albaz, which is a 1-card starter. So yeah, that's what I recommend. And also 1 Spriggan's Kit, which is, it's a better and worse Aluber. I mean, it's usually a worse Aluber, but it's a Spriggan's monster, so you can special summon it on the end phase with Sprint the Iron Dash Dragon. And apart from that, I mean, yeah, it's definitely a worse Aluber, honestly. Yeah, 3 Nadir Servant as well as 3 Branded and High Spirits. We really want to rely way less on Branded Fusion because, ironically, this card really doesn't matter too much in this deck because you're religiously Synchro Summoning Ecclesia of the Black Dragon. And if you're Synchro Summoning, obviously Branded Fusion doesn't do anything since, I mean, you're summoning a non-fusion. And Branded Fusion locks you from non-fusion monsters the whole turn, not the rest of the turn. So sometimes you're just looking at your Branded Fusion and you're Fallen of the White Dragon and you're like, do I Synchro Summon? Do I use Branded Fusion? And you're almost tempted to just use Branded Fusion as a bait so that if it doesn't resolve, then you get to play with your other things. It's really funny that I say this because Despia used to not really be like that. It used to be, yo, if my Branded Fusion resolves, I win, and if it doesn't, shit. Now I'm not doing anything. But yeah, this deck really has evolved in a really positive way. Yeah, this card is good. Obviously, it's still 1 card full combo, but you don't really need it that desperately. And then, yeah, 1 Gold Sarcophagus so that you can banish either Mercurier or Tragedy, and that would allow you to either search a Despia monster or search a monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz. So that would also be 1 card combo. So yeah, Gold Sark, banish this, search what's his face, etc. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, cool. And then, yeah, 3 Super Polymerization, 3 Fallen Virtuous. If there's one deck that plays the Fallen Virtuous better than anyone else, it's not Dragon Tail, it's this deck. By far. Because now both effects are broken. And, this is super easy to search, it's a joke, and you can send, like, infinite monsters from your extra deck to grave. So yeah, this is a no-brainer in your deck. And apart from that, I mean, we're playing a lot of engine requirements, weird one-ofs. But, that's always been the Despia deck. So, 1 Albion the Shrouded Dragon, 1 Saronir. You can also play Magnamut if you really want to, but Saronir has a very relevant effect, and it's also very good to fuse with, like, Blazing Cartesia, for example. But yeah, the fact that you can send, like, Branded Retribution, that's pretty cool. Albion the Shrouded Dragon can also send Branded Retribution. The graveyard effect of this card is really nice. Can banish itself to recycle back any Branded spell or trap card in your grave. And then, yeah, 1 Tragedy, 1 Mercurier, 1 Golden Sword Soul. This card's on-field effect and in-hand effect, whatever, complete dog shit, but the graveyard effect, it's fine. I mean, it's part of the combo, but it's not like anything insane or crazy that you're going to be going over like every single time. So yeah, that's the reason why if you want to play over 40 cards just so that you can drown the bricks, that can make a lot of sense. And then yeah, 1 Fallen of Albaz, obviously 1 Ido, the Supreme Magical Force. If you can find a way to get DD Orthros in the grave, that is quite literally the exact same as Gimmick Puppet Nightmare. The only difference is that Gimmick Puppet Nightmare is sendable off of Grand Guignol. This also is, but DD Orthros isn't. And yes, it's also a continuous effect, so once it drops the field, nothing your opponent can do about it. But yeah, you gotta physically hard-shot. You gotta be good at the game, which I'm not, unfortunately. And yeah, anyways, Tri-Brigade Spriggan's Kit, another card that kind of sucks to draw. It's not the end of the world, but you'd rather not draw it, but again, it doesn't matter if you do draw it. And then 1 Guiding Quem, 1 Blazing Cartesia, 1 Incredible Ecclesia. It's kind of like a semi-1-card combo, actually. You can normal summon it and then tribute, summon a Fall of the White Dragon, and then effect, summon back your Incredible Ecclesia, and then make the Ecclesia of the Black Dragon. And then after that, you're not doing jack shit, but you can still kind of combo. Like, you can search branded fusion. No, actually, you can search real cards. Like, it still gets you to play the game over time. So I would still consider it, you know, an okay-ish semi-1-card starter. But there's a lot of, like, 2-card combos that work. You can draw, like, Guiding Quem and Bestial Saronir. That should be one, like, full combo, I believe. Honestly, there's just so many 2-card combos, and there's obviously a lot of 1-card combos now, so the deck is getting simpler and simpler over time. And yeah, 1 branded in red, 1 branded in white. There's no branded in black or branded in the rainbow. And yeah, the Retribution, etc. blah blah. I think I covered everything in the main deck. And for the extra deck, bro, if the main deck wasn't complicated enough, the extra deck gets even more complicated. 1 Mirror Jade, 1 Albion the Sanctifier Dragon. This is the... I can't believe this is still legal, but yeah, this is literally the exact same effect as Branded Expulsion. But it's a legal card. The Dragon that diverts the Dogma, it's also played in Dragon Tail. Sprint the Iron Dash Dragon, can end-phase summon the Spriggan's Kit. And then Titanclad, this is an out Liger Dancer. And then Rin Brum, the Striking Dragon, very good card to use on the opponent's turn to revive back your Fallen of Albaz so that you can fuse again. It's pretty much like, you know how Hieratic Seal can summon Fallen of Albaz to treat it as an interruption? Rin Brum is pretty much the same, so you're always gonna have to be, like, afraid of... you know, this and this being in the graveyard when you're playing against Despia. Anyways, 1 Lubellion with 2 Albion. This actually has a graveyard effect, whereas this one doesn't. So usually this card is deemed as a better card. And then 2 Grand Guignol. You could also just play 1 and shuffle it back, but I just like to have a little bit of wiggle room. I think this card is really nice. And it can also summon, you know, Despia monsters from the extra deck, which is irrelevant because we're now playing Luluwa Lilith. Anyways, 1 Ecclesia, the Black Dragon, 1 Secretarion, 1 Garura, and Mud Dragon for the super poly targets. And I do not have a side deck, but you can also try to squeeze in Dragostapelia and Masquerade. And there's overall more cards that you can play. And you can also play Foolish Barrel, because it's also a 1-card starter. You can send Tragedy and then search Aluber. But yeah, anyways, with that being said, rather, let's get into the one and only combo I got for you. Alright, so this is what you can do with a single copy of Fallen of the White Dragon. And again, I'm not the creator of this combo, so shoutouts to Akira for showing it on Road of the King. But yeah, anyway, special summon this boy by pitching the Iron Dash, and then effect a special summon the Incredible Ecclesia, and then tribute it to summon the Golden Sword Soul. Synchro summon for Ecclesia of the Black... Dragon, there you go, and then banish it until the end phase, broken effect, revive, well, summon the Blazing Cartesia from the deck, and since one of your monster was banished face up, you can banish the Golden Sword Soul from the grave to summon a Light Spellcaster from your hand or grave, who has the same attack and defense. So, obviously, Incredible Ecclesia fits the bill, and then you can fuse both for the Grand Guignol. Grand Guignol effects send the Albion, and yo, that's it. That's all you're doing on main phase, but this is where the fun begins. On the end phase, Despia is the only deck in the game that takes 2 minutes to play on the main phase, actually 30 seconds, and then literally 25 minutes on the end phase. I'm actually not joking, this is the longest end phase you'll ever witness. So yeah, effect, recycle back 2 cards, and then the Sprint is going to be summoning the Spriggan's Kit. Kit is going to be searching opening, and then plays back a card, opening, summon the Aluber. Aluber is going to be searching for the Branded in Red. Branded in Red is going to be recycling back the Fallen of the White Dragon, and then you're going to be fusing for the Lubellion. Lubellion is going to be discarding the Incredible Ecclesia to fuse for the Albion the Sanctifier Dragon, and then still on the end phase, Albion is going to be setting the Fallen Virtuous, and you're still going to be able to get back the Ecclesia of the Black Dragon. All of that happened on the freaking end phase. What is Yu-Gi-Oh turning into? Anyways, main phase now. We're not done yet. The opponent is trying to, like, perform an action, and we're like, bro, as soon as you pass turn player priority on your main phase, now it's my turn to have even more fun. It's not your turn, it's our turn. So yeah, the Ecclesia of the Black Dragon is going to be using its effect in order to summon the Guiding Quem from the deck. Shoutouts to Clem if you're watching this. And then you're going to be dumping the Tri-Brigade Spriggan's Kit. This card is a new card from Burst Protocol. Whenever it's sent to the graveyard, you can special summon either a Tri-Brigade, Spriggans, or Fallen of Albaz, or a monster that mentions it from the grave, and we're going to be reviving back the Blazing Cartesia. Cartesia is going to be fusing with the Aluber to make Grand Guignol, either a number 1 or 2, because the Lubellion did shuffle back the first one. Not because we had to, but because we had too many monsters on the field. We had too much money And we actually need to clear up zones, otherwise we're going to be missing out on some disruptions. But yeah, the Grand Guignol is going to be triggering as well as the Guiding Quem, so you can go Chilling Quench, Chilling 2 in order to dodge the Ash on the Grand Guignol. And we're going to be reviving back the Incredible Ecclesia, which could use its effect at any moment to summon the Fallen Abaz, and then fuse with a bunch of opponents' monsters in order to make the dragon that devours the Darkness or Dogma, whatever. And that's a huge interruption. And yeah, we're going to now be dumping Ido, the Supreme Magical Warrior, or Force, or whatever, I forgot the name, Force, there we go. And Albion, the Sanctifier Dragon, is going to be reviving back a Luber on your field, as well as the Ido on defense on your opponent's field. And we're going to be getting a search with a Luber. So again, this is all on the main phase. And yeah, there's no way you lose now, because your opponent cannot normal summon or special summon or set monsters. But he can tribute set, if I recall correctly. And then you can out this. So if he has a Bestial, you know, it is what it is. But at the same time, your opponent would have just Bestialed the Ido, so it's not like it really matters too much. All you gotta do is be better than your opponent. Just keep that in mind, and you should be gooch. But yeah, that's it for this quick little combo video and deck profile. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys very soon with another video. Peace.